out there outstanding, which many experts are predicting that the president will continue to do well because a lot of those votes came in day of or the day before Election Day. And the president has a good shot, according to observers and people on the ground that I've been speaking to in Arizona, to overtake that state and win the state of Arizona. Any call of Arizona was premature, based on everybody that I've talked to that knows the numbers out there, which brings us to our top story tonight. As poll workers slowly continue to tabulate results, we have serious reports of irregularities and fraud and not allowing vote counters to observe counting, which is a matter of law. And they continue to come in, these reports from all over the country. Now, in just moments, we're going to bring you live updates from on the ground in Arizona, Nevada, Michigan, Pennsylvania. We'll also show you 2 bombshell videos from Project Veritas showing reported voter fraud in a frightening level. And coming up, we'll hear from an eyewitness. We'll hear accounts from Americans who witnessed voter fraud firsthand. But first, only moments ago, the President of the United States delivered an important message about what we're now witnessing in state after state after state. Watch this.
If you count the legal votes, I easily win. If you count the illegal votes, they can try to steal the election from us. If you count the votes that came in late, we're looking at them very strongly, but a lot of votes came in late. There are now only a few states yet to be decided in the presidential race. The voting apparatus of those states are run in all cases by Democrats. We were winning in all the key locations by a lot, actually. And then our numbers started miraculously getting whittled away in secret. And they wouldn't allow legally permissible observers.
Now, if you were watching almost any other so-called news network or broadcast network other than Fox, you would not have seen any of that. And yet a blatant new contribution to all things Joe Biden and radical socialist and an attempt to suppress information, just like, well, big tech institutions, the corrupt media mob, they cut away from the president speaking so that their own idiotic pundits could trash him. Wow. Take a look.
It's amazing how those mail-in ballots are so one-sided, too. I know that it's supposed to be to the advantage of the Democrats, but in all cases, they're so one-sided.
We're watching President Trump speaking live from the White House, and we have to interrupt here because the president has made a number of false statements.
Likewise, in Georgia, I won by a lot.
And there, the President of the United States addressing the President of the United States addressing the American people for the first time, claiming that if you count the legal votes, I easily win.
Stand back and take this in here. The media mob now edits and controls. They don't even want you to be able to decide for yourself, just like big tech companies are editing what news articles you can read and make decisions on. Wow, truly an Orwellian nightmare. What have I been saying about big institutions in this country failing we the people at levels I could never imagine? Same idiots, by the way, same network, same people that lied to you for years about Russia collusion that never existed, that never told you the truth about the Russian disinformation dossier, or the fact that that dirty Clinton bought and paid for Russian disinformation dossier was used to spy on a presidential candidate and then a president, or about Ukraine hiding, as they did the entire campaign, Biden family corruption and quid and pro and quos and big deals with China and with Ukraine and Russia. They've hid from you, let's see, the weak, frail, and Joe Biden's obvious cognitive decline, acted like it didn't exist. Now, the mob and the media is only one powerful institution that has utterly failed. We, the American people. Big tech, another one. Our educational system, another one. And I can keep going. We can no longer trust the vast majority of this country's pollsters who, once again, they got everything wrong. And by the way, now the president, he described even the credibility of our elections is in question state after state. Let's start in Pennsylvania, where something strange and suspicious has been happening. In Philadelphia, election officials, they're fighting tooth and nail to prevent poll watchers, which the law allows, from observing the ongoing vote count. Look at this summary of law. Quote, partisan observers may observe at polling locations and may still until the time that the counting of the votes is complete. Partisan observers are permitted to be present when absentee and mail-in ballot envelopes are open and when the ballots are counted and recorded. And post-election, partisan observers may be present at the tabulation or canvassing of unofficial and official returns and any recount or recanvass. That is the law, and it's in pretty much every state. It's that simple. Now, the law is clearly being broken. As we speak in Philadelphia and other locations, you have officials blocking the Trump campaign from viewing the process as they have from the beginning. And according to a lawsuit now filed by the Trump campaign, quote, election officials are intentionally refusing to allow representatives and poll watchers for President Trump and the Republican Party. Listen to how one poll watcher described the scene. Take a look.
Supposedly observing, but we can't see. We're further away, supposedly observing, but we can't see. We're further away than I am from you all here. At least 100 feet away from open ballots that go back out of our sight. We can't see them. We don't know what's happening to them. It's just, there's no way for us to meaningfully observe the process from where they have us.
Could you tell us how many ballots approximately went through that process that you had no chance to observe?
Based on the counts that we've heard, it's about 125,000, maybe more.
Well, so that should be deducted from the count. Those are ballots that were counted in violation of the law.
Wow. And what about the law, the Constitution? Quote, the times, places, manners of holding elections for senators, representatives shall be prescribed in each state by the legislature thereof. In other words, the state legislature, they decide election law and regulations, not local or city officials. And by the way, it is illegal for them to block observers or restrict location to 20 or 100 feet where you can't observe. It's also illegal for the city of Philadelphia to disregard a court order mandating that observers be allowed back in. Does that invalidate the process, considering they're violating the law? And what is the remedy? The only remedy I would see at that point is they did it and they violated the law. Nobody can testify to the legitimacy of what their counting was. Oh, what, a do-over in that state? By the way, something that has never been done in a presidential election. By the way, I just got this breaking news as it relates to new ballots that have come out from Maricopa County. This is the Arizona result that I've been telling you about. The magic number in Maricopa, if the president maintained 57%, then the president would be well on his way to winning that state. 74,000 ballots have just come in from Maricopa. 57% for President Donald J. Trump, in keeping with...
I asked you to read the line. The line said it's good in every ward and division in the city.
Even later, the city of Philadelphia admitted that he should have been allowed into the building, but the damage was done. An untold number of votes counted without an observer in the room as a matter of law. Remember, this is Philadelphia, the land of corruption, fraud, and election abuse. Now, just this year, a Philadelphia judge of elections admitted that he took bribes to stuff the ballot box for Democratic candidates. The city's treasurer was fired after getting arrested by the feds for embezzling money. The city's former congressman was indicted on voter fraud and bribery. So, yeah, it's very important that Republican poll watchers observe the process as a matter of law in Philadelphia. That law has been broken, and it is pure corruption that they are being blocked, especially since the state's top officials are openly and publicly hostile to President Trump. Now, before the election, October 31st, to be